Hey guys, and welcome to the battle phase. Today we have another plant deck. This time it is Sylvans. Now, Sylvans are more of a casual, fun deck to play. They're like Lightsworns, but they're plants. Now, obviously, if you're trying to go for a more competitive build, you should try to go for other plant decks. This is just my best attempt at building Sylvans. Sadly, Sylvans by nature are cards that want to be milled but don't want to be drawn, right? So you are inherently playing like 15 bricks in your deck that you only really want to mill. So out of that, this deck might be a little hindered. So it needs some specific takes when putting it together and makes it, a bit more glass cannony, a bit more casual than all the other decks. However, the only way I found the best way to play it is batshit balls to the walls, full extension deck. We're just trying to extend past those hand traps. We just have full extension. We go full out and basically, try to win from there. So a glass cannon deck and a very I call that a live deck. There is no set combos. You mill what you mill. You get lucky. You win. You blow. You whiff. You're not doing well. But yeah, this is, I think, how you can play Sylvans as optimally as possible. So let's get right into the deck profile. So starting with the starters, we obviously have the good old great plant starters, 3 copies of Lone Fire Blossom here, and 3 copies of Evil Thorn. Now, I'm usually a bit skeptical about these starters because the problem with them is they tribute themselves for cost. So any hand trap going on these cards is not just going to leave you without their effect, but without anything on the board. So I'm, in this time and age, really not confident playing this without the Gamma. I think enough cards in this deck justify playing Gamma, so we play the Gamma in this deck, and this just makes these cards a lot better. Obviously, they're really strong extenders, and Sylvans need this strong extender. High risk, high reward is just how I think this deck has to be played. So these are your starters, alongside with obviously the 1-for-1, to get to the copy of Evil Thorn, and obviously with the 3 copies of Predaplant, Orphis, Scorpio. This kind of gives you your your starters, basically. To open these starters, you have a 69% chance to open one of these in your opening hand, and you ideally want to start with one of them. They really get your plays going. So yeah, this deck really needs all the help it can get, so we start with these. Because this is a Predaplant Sylvan deck, this deck does utilize a small little Predaplant engine, so besides these, we also play the obvious Daring Cobra, and then we also play one of the fusion guys, because it comes up, and then of course the Predap running, which you obviously might know that we play for the fusion. So this is the Predaplant package. These 3 obviously really good starters. Even if you don't open them, you get to them through your combo. Darling Cobra is good also if it gets milled off the Sylvan Link. Obviously, this deck revolves around the Sylvan Link, so this is really good to get milled. You can special back, and then these 2 are really good for the combo, right? This makes you end on Drex Tapelia, and this just is really good. You search this off of the Predaplant fusion. But yeah, this is the main deck Predaplant engine we run in this deck. Moving on, we then of course have the 1 copy of Instant Fusion just searched off Darling Cobra. The second starters in this deck, or even extenders you might call it, is the 3 copies of Emergency Teleport. This card is really, really strong. It is another card that your opponent will hand trap and you can protect with Gamma, so that's why it's very strong. But the card we are going to Emergency Teleport out is going to be Psy Reflector. Yes, so we're using Emergency Teleport not only as an extender, but also as a starter. Right, as we said, Sylvans want to be milled, and the best card that mills in the game is the Chaos Ruler, so the level 8 Synchro, and Psy Reflector is a 1-card Chaos Ruler. So if you can start with the Emergency Teleport, you're going to go into Psy Reflector, and you're going to go into a Chaos Ruler, mill 5, and go crazy from there. See, because we play the Chaos Ruler, we have to play the Assault Beast and the Assault Mode activate. Now these are, I'm gonna say these are a bit of a bricks. That's why we play 50 cards in this deck. So these bricks are less notable, but playing these 2 bricks is really worth it for what this engine gives you. Obviously, you can just normal summon this, or you can special it with E-Tally, and it just gets you the Chaos Ruler on board. You mill 5 and you go crazy from there. So This is really good. If your normal summon gets negated, this is also really, really strong. It just extends past it, and it's just very strong. So these are, by the way, also starters. So with our normal summon starters and with this starters, we now have 85% to kickstart our combos every game. So this is in my opinion a pretty good percentage. Moving on, as I said, we do play the 3 copies of Psyframe Gear Gamma. This is also obviously the driver, playing 50, so yeah, driver. If you open driver, you know, there's still uses for it. You can discard it for the Predaplant or for Scorpio effect, so I guess it is bearable. But the Gamma is just really, really good because not only is a hand trap, it also protects you from hand traps on your like key starter cards like Lone Fire, like Evil Thor, like Emergency Teleport. All these are like really important cards that you can resolve and you can protect them with Gamma. Another very important thing about Gamma is that when you resolve the Gamma, you also get the driver and you have a level 8 synchro on board, so you can go into Chaos Ruler, mill 5, mill some Sylvans, and go combo from there. So I think Gamma in this deck is very justifiable. The deck is very weak to hand traps because we play Sylvans. We can't really play other extenders or hand trap protection, so that's why we really bloodily need the Gamma in this deck. We come to the Sylvan portion, so we play 5 high-level Sylvans. Play the 3 copies of the Sylvan Hermitry. In my opinion, the best high-level Sylvan. Besides, so all the Sylvans, when they're special summoned, they can mill 1 or 2 cards off the top of your deck, so obviously you hope to mill other Sylvans. But they all have effects when milled, so Handtree allows you to check the top 3 cards of the deck and set them up in any order, so it sets up your further mills. But the more important thing about it, it is a level 8, right? So with the Chaos Ruler, it can go into rank 8. So that's why it's very, very important. And we also special summon from our hand quite a lot. And special summoning this from our hand is just like the best, almost the best Sylvan you can do. So beside the Hermitry, we also play the 2 copies of the level 7 Sylvan. So this is the Sage Quoya. This one has the effect of when milled, you can add a Sylvan spell trap from your grave to your hand, and it's obviously going to be the Sylvan Charity, the Sylvan Graceful Charity spell that is like really, really strong. But Sage Quoya also acts as an extender if you open it, because when a Sylvan monster is sent to the graveyard, so basically when it's milled, you can special summon this card from your hand. So, and you basically, every duel you mill a Sylvan, right? That's why we ran so many of them. And when then the Sage Quoya is special summoned like that, he can also mill 1 card himself, so then further extends your play, not only by putting a body on the board, but also by milling additional cards. So this is our high-level Sylvan count. We do play more of the low levels because you can also normal summon those if you need to, but these I think are really good. I want to mill these. So yeah, now we go to the lower level Sylvans. So for the lower level Sylvans, we play 3 of the, in my opinion, the best ones. So the Cherub Sprout, so 3 copies of Cherub Sprout. We play the 2 copies of Peakeeper, and we play the 2 copies of Princess Sprout. Okay, I like playing 3 of the Cherub Sprout because he has a really strong effect when milled, but more importantly, also he can mill 2 cards off of your deck when he's special summoned, right? So it gets you a higher chance to mill a Sylvan. If this card is excavated though, you can special summon a level 1 Sylvan from deck, so that's really strong, and then that Sylvan also mills, so that's really, really strong. Peakeeper reborns a plant from the graveyard, level 4 or lower, so get back Lone Fire to place, and Princess Sprout reborns herself, and you can modulate her level. So all of these are really, really good when milled, but obviously don't do much when you open them. So what can I say? Trying to mill them and not open them, but are not. We play cards that make them less terrible to open, and you will see that soon. And then the MVP card of the Sylvans, the 3 copies of Sylvan Charity. Sylvan Charity is the Graceful Charity for the Sylvans. You basically draw 3 and then put 2 back in on the top of the deck, and one of them has to be a Sylvan. The good thing about it is even if you don't open a Sylvan, you can still trigger this, draw 3, and then hope that you open the silver. Otherwise, you have to shuffle your whole deck into your whole hand into the deck, which is not ideal. But if you didn't open a Sylvan in your starting hand, we do play 12 Sylvans in the deck. So even if you didn't open one in the first 5 cards, and drawing 3 gives you a 91% chance that you're gonna get a Sylvan. So you can just blind this card out as well, and you have a high percentage that you're not gonna whiff. The other really strong thing about this card is also sets you up, so you can put that Sylvan on the top of your deck, so it definitely gets milled, right? And also we obviously are a plant deck, so we play other bricks as well, like the Darling Cobra and so on, and you can put those into the deck as well. So that's why this card is just so good in the deck, right? It just graceful charity. There's a reason why it's banned. And then another very important card in this deck, as I said, the game plan of this deck is just to extend past Handtraps, so that's why we do play the White Rose Cloister, the one Terraforming to go with it, and then the 3 copies of Rose Princess to search the White Rose Cloister. I really hate playing 2 White Rose Cloisters, just because that can really brick. I'd rather play Rose Princess, because if you draw it with the White Rose Cloister, it still can act as an extender, and it acts just like a plant in hand. But White Rose Cloister is really good. First of all, it is extension. If you control no monsters, you can special a plant from hand. This is extension, so if you open 2 starters, you can extend. If you're opponent Handtraps, you can special summon something else, extend. This also special summons Sylvans out of your hand, so they can trigger their effect to mill cards from the top of your deck. So this card is just so good, and I run 5 of them, so that means that to get the field spell, we have a 42% chance in our opening hand, right? This can also replace the starter. If you open no starter, you can just normal summon a plant and then use White Rose Cloister, special summon a plant, and you can make the Sylvan link, and you are playing. So to open a field or a starter, so Lone Fire, Evil Thorn, Eater, or the field spell, you have then 91% chance. So that is I think really good. But White Rose Cloister just does so much. Gets rid of bricks in your hand, extends, avoids hand traps, and also like is just really strong. That's why I really like playing the White Rose Cloister. It is, I think, important in this type of play, in this type of a glass cannon deck. Moving on, this deck needs all the help it can get, so that's why we play the Red Rose and the White Rose Dragon. These 2 are also kind of bricks, but with the Sylvan Charity, with the 50 cards, we can kind of circumnavigate this. But yeah, these 2 like give you the crazy amount of extension that this deck really needs. Red Rose comes off of Hulk, and then you go into White Rose. White Rose Foolish Burial is a plant, so that actually is usable in this deck as well. But yeah, these 2 coming off of the Hockey Fabrics. And then the last cards are the cards you want to get. You want to mill as well, so our good mills. So that is Spore. Spore, as we know, really strong. And Fangly. Fangly, if he gets sent from the deck to the grave, you can special summon him. So both of these cards are really good getting milled. So besides Sylvans, these are also good getting milled. And Spore is obviously so good that you obviously just want to summon him. These level 1s are also really good because with the Chaos Ruler that we have to summon in this deck, we can then go into Hot Red, so that's very strong. And the other 2 are the level 4s, so the Caraway Champion, really good if milled, and the Stay Sailor Roamerine. Stay Sailor Roamerine is Foolish Burial, is sent from the deck to the graveyard, and then it Foolish Burials level 4 or lower plant. So for instance, you can go Stay Sailor Roamerine and then Foolish Burial the Fangly and special the Fangly. So this is really good. Also level 4 Tuner, really good if milled of the Sylvan Link. But as I say, White Rose Dragon can then Foolish Burial a level 4 or higher plant, so you Foolish Burial the Roamerine, and Roamerine can Foolish Burial level 4 or lower plant, so we can then actually Foolish Burial any plant. So this is like really good, and these 4 are also, just like the Sylvans, really good if you can mill them. Okay, that is it. As always, our only hand trap protection is brutally extending past them or playing Gamma, and Gamma gives us a 28% chance to open the Gamma, so almost 1/3 you're gonna have that Gamma protection. If you open a starter and that it is protected with Gamma, that is only 19%. However, 1 in every 5 games you will make sure your starter resolves, and you will get a free Chaos Ruler mill 5 card, so that is absolutely insane. That's why those games you are probably going to win. Moving on to the extra deck. First, let's go through the links, and we start with the MVP, the card that actually made me want to build this deck. This is the new Sylvan Dancipion, the brand new link monster. You declare a number for 1, 2, 3, and you mill that many cards, and then summon up to 2 plants from those milled cards. And they can be used for link material, but obviously we circumnavigate that. So our odds of milling at least 1 plant are 99% chance, so we're definitely special summoning 1. The odds of milling 2 plants is at 92% chance, so we're probably summoning both of them. But our chance to mill 3, it is 69% chance. So it's really good if you open 2 plants, Really strong if you mill the Lone Fire or one of the starters, then you special summon them and then you use the starters and you really extend crazily. It's really strong. But also if you mill 2 plants in a Sylvan, that Sylvan is then gonna get milled because you only special summon 2. You excavate the last one and that Sylvan also gets the effect. So Dance Beyond just so strong. It gets you that extension on the field and you can then do anything. The second, obviously, second MVP, Aroma's Very Jasmine. One of the way how you can get around the effect of Dance Beyond that you can't link with those plants is by just making Jasmine and then tributing one of them for a plant from the deck. Obviously, the Crystal Hockey Fabrics, a crazy card, crazy extension, high impact. And then the Cross Sheep, we do play the Predaplants, we do play the Instant Fusion, so Cross Sheep just to revive a Lone Fire Blossom and strong extension here. This is another way how you play against Handtraps. You have these like 4 very powerful links, and okay, high impact links. Okay, one of them gets hand trapped, no problem. You go into the other, use the effect and extend. It's like you're just trying to extend past your opponent hand traps. It's just really strong. The last link we do play is, of course, the 1 copy of Appaloosa. Appaloosa is gonna be a part of your end board, and it's just, you know, monster negates. You can never have enough of that. Moving on, we then play the Predaplant Ambu. This is the instant fusion target. It is crazily how good this card also extends. Just really strong. And then we play Dragastapelia as a part of our end board. So you make Dragastapelia with the effect of Ambu to tribute a monster on the field, and then you're gonna special summon the level 2 Quick Fusion Predaplant, and he allows you to fusion summon when he's summoned with him and Ambu, and you're gonna go him and Ambu into Dragastapelia. So you get an easy monster negate just off of Ambu, and he's gonna be revived with the equip spell. So it's not even the instant fusion Ambu, it's when you use him, you reborn him, and then you use his effect to tribute any other monster, boom, the other Predaplant, and then you go and you get the Dragastapelia. So this is like a really cool engine. I like it a lot. And then we go to the absolute MVP of our deck, the Chaos Ruler. This card mills 5 off the top of your deck, and really just you try to mill as many Sylvans or good cards like Spore and Fangly. With the mill 5, you have 87% chance to mill at least 1 strong card. So at least 1 Sylvan, who then extends further, and like it's really strong. So you want a turbo to the Chaos Ruler. And because Chaos Ruler is a level 8 that reborns himself, we can also play the Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss, a really good negate as well. And we play a lot of level 1 tuners like Spore and Fangly, so this and those tuners are Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss. Moving on, we also then have the Borreload Savage Dragon. Borreload Savage Dragon being a piece of the end board, another Omni negate. And we also play the Omega. Sometimes you can make 3 level 8s in a turn, so that will be Chaos Ruler, Borderland, and then the third one will gonna be Omega. It is just strong. You can hand rip one from your opponent. You can also recycle some of the banished cards because of Chaos Ruler. I think it's just a really strong option as well. So these are the synchros. And then we go to the Exceed. So the first Exceed is the number 75 Gossip Shadow. Sometimes this card it will be established before you're gonna go into your combo as hand trap protection. So if you open enough extension, you just set up this, and this is a monster negate, and it just allows you to play 3 hand traps. Basically, most likely you're going to get your Sylvan Link off of like Predaplant, Scorpio, or Lone Fire, so your starters. You're gonna mill 2 plants, you're gonna get 2 plants, and they're gonna use the second effect, target that Lone Fire in your grave and make both of the plants level 3, and you will exceed in 275 with that before you're gonna go into your combos. So that just like gets that hand trap protection on the field. This is as much as we can do here. And then we also play 2 rank 1s. We play the Sylvan rank 1 and the Amed Robin, the Literalesque. Play a lot of level 1, so Spore, Fangly, all of the Sylvans are level 1s almost. So you really have all level 1s on the board. This guy is just crazy extension, right? It just reborns the Sylvan from the graveyard and mills 1. So it's just, if you can make it, you just make this and it extends. And Robin is a great piece of the end board. If you can make him, he's gonna give you 2 bounces because he's not once per turn, and he's bounces, right? And another very strong card in combination with this is the final card in our extra deck, the number 38. This card is really good. Obviously, it is a spell negate. Obviously, you can make it with Chaos Lure and the Sylvan level 8, so the Hermitry, and you usually want to do him. But what is really important with him, that most of your negates kind of have a low attack, right? So you end on like Apo, and you use a negate on Apo, and it has like 1600 attack, and M-Rob only has 500 per XC material, so it's going to have 1000 attack before you bounce. So both of these interruptions, like your opponent can just go, aha, I'm just going to normal summon or special summon something, run these in battle, and then perform the combo, so I have less interruption, and they will hilariously a lot of times forget about 38's effect that he can redirect attacks on himself, and he has that 3k attack. So having him on the field is not only a spell negate, but also protects your negates that can be run over by battle from your opponent. So, you know, this is like really, really strong. As I said, this deck extends very, 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 very well, and if it's not interrupted or manages to set up the Gossip Shadow early, it can do some really cool boards. So the basic board, sometimes if you extend well, you can actually be looking forward to getting the Gossip Shadow if you had a good enough opening. So this is not mandatory, but you will almost always end up on the Appaloosa, on the Borreload Savage Dragon, on the Draxtepalia as well, and on the 38. So this is kind of going to be your end board here, and this is a fairly strong end board. Not really immune against board breakers by all means, but it is a very strong deck for a deck as old as Sylvan, for instance, right? So it is crazy fun to play. The Lightsworn feeling, many players love it, and this is the same. You just mill, there is no pre-scripted combos, you just fly it on the go. You know, whatever you mill, you just use, you're using your resources, you're milling again, you're getting lucky. It's Lightsworn Adamancer type of deck, very, very fun to play, so I heavily recommend playing this deck. It is so fun, but a bit more casual than the other decks I have shown here on the channel. So I'm also gonna upload the test hands for this video. Sadly, I can't do the combo, as I said, no fixed combos, but we're gonna see the test hands so you can get a feeling of how this deck plays, really how fun it is to play, so that will be in the link below. So guys, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.